Hey everybody, it's Father Sean for another episode of the Couch Chat. So just here, I'm sipping water this time, I can't lie. It's in the middle of the afternoon, so had too much coffee already, a little jittery today. But the last week, and I mentioned we're gonna just kind of go through the merger meeting. So we had the meetings to kind of lay things out as to what is a parish merger, why it's advantageous, and then what does this look like kind of practically speaking. So last time was a discussion of what is a parish merger, what does that mean? And so the next thing is why. And so whenever the Archbishop, who is the one who's responsible for creating parishes, dividing parishes to split them apart or combining them, merging them into something new. So it's his prerogative, but the church and the law says this has to happen for a just cause, right? Not because the Archbishop woke up in the morning and decided that he wanted to change things, So there's got to be a just reason for making any changes, and that makes sense. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but the church makes a little distinction. For a building to no longer be used for sacred purpose, there has to be a grave cause. So that's more serious than a just cause. So a just cause for a change in parish alignment. So question is, well, what could that be? And so there are a number of reasons in our particular case why there's a good reason to do this. And so one of them would be, sorry, I've got notes here, but one of them would just be that there is already an existing collaboration between our parishes. And I probably don't need to tell anybody that that's the case. Everybody who's been around knows that there's quite a bit of collaboration between our four parishes, but there might be even more than any of us knew. And as I sat down and kind of made notes, I realized just how much collaboration there is between our four parishes. So the first thing is that we've shared a pastor since at least 2014. That's when one pastor became the pastor of all four parishes. But we've been sharing pastors and sharing priests since long before that. Actually, since before I was born. St. Lawrence and Immaculate Conception started sharing a pastor in 1989, in July of 1989, about a little over a month before I was born. And then also our four parishes come from the same origin, right? All four of us split apart at one point from the original Petersburg Church in St. Peter and Paul there where the Petersburg Cemetery is. And then there's a lot of relations between our four parishes. There's people who have, family members at different parishes, whether it's their siblings or their parents, or they grew up at one and now they go to one another. So there's a lot of intermingling already. And then also we share a parish office. So we already share one administrative hub for our parishes. And then within that, our staff, all of our ministerial, so those that are kind of serving in ministries, and then the administrative, so the business end, serve all four parishes. They're already not just for this parish or that parish, but for all four. Now, there are some things that are distinct. So the maintenance staff, those that keep the places clean, and even the musicians, for the large part, are parish specific. And then also people seem rather comfortable in going between masses at different parishes. And maybe you've lived this yourself, but I know I had mass earlier this morning. I had the 8:30 at St. Lawrence and the 10:30 at Immaculate Conception. And just looking out, you see people from different parishes. You see people who aren't necessarily a member of that parish going to that church, but they're kind of going all over. So there's already this kind of intermingling between our people at masses at the different places. And then one that I've noticed over time is when people are asking to be a godparent or a confirmation sponsor, they have to submit a form, and then on this form they write, I am a member of, and then there's a blank line to say which parish they're a member of. And so many people now are just writing, I'm a member of Holy Face of Jesus parishes or Petersburg parishes, which those aren't actually a parish because they don't actually exist. They're just kind of what we're calling ourselves. But what it shows is this common identity, right? So there's many of our people have this common identity already, that they belong not just to their own particular parish, but to the larger whole. So there's this already kind of common understanding, not with everybody, but you can see it growing over time. And then all of our communications are the same. So our website, our bulletin, Flock Note, Facebook, and letterhead, all of that is the same throughout all four parishes. We use the same bulletin, and that's pretty obvious, but that's an important thing. And then even our CCD programs go to the same schedule. So they start and end on the same day each year. They start and end at the same time. We get the same days off for Christmas break. Our catechists, we gather them a couple times a year to talk about best practices, to share what's working, what isn't working, and all those sorts of things. And even some of the substitutes for CCD are saying, hey, if you need me to sub at any of the parishes, if there's a catechist who's sick, I'd be more than happy to go to whichever one is needed. So that's just a great blessing to have people helping out between the different parishes. And even our high school youth ministry and our confirmation prep is combined between the four parishes. And then all the other formations. So you think about Alpha, RCA, the grief support, marriage preparation, all of this is already working together. Everybody's already rowing in the same direction for these different ministries. So I'm realizing this list is rather long and maybe this video is going on too long, but that's okay. Liturgically, we utilize the same hymnal. We have a kind of a common repertoire of masses, and we even get in the same routine. So today, actually, this morning, I had a server. It was her first time serving at St. Lawrence, but she was trained how to serve at St. Joseph. But things were so common that she felt comfortable enough just going and watching a few times beforehand. So you just see this, like we're doing things similarly, and people can kind of interchange, which is a beautiful thing. And then even we have a combined choir for big masses like Confirmation Mass or the Easter Vigil. People from all four parishes are invited to participate in this combined choir. And then when we look at even expenses, so our expenses are 55% of all of the bills that we receive to pay are split between parishes. So what that means is if a bill comes in, 55% of those bills, or at least maybe 55% of the amount of money, is divided between the different parishes. So we have an agreed upon amount that each parish pays. If you include the archdiocesan assessment in that, which is parish specific, but if we just, for a little thought exercise, if we combined the entire archdiocesan assessment into that shared expense, which is 10%, it's almost 2/3 of our expenses are already shared between the four parishes. And then finally, our payroll is processed all through one parish. And that's to save expenses and that's to save time so that we're not doing payroll on multiple things. But what that does mean is, so say for example, the musician at Immaculate Conception plays the organ at a Mass, marks it down on his timesheet. It gets paid through St. Joseph, that's who all of our payrolls run, but then Immaculate Conception will reimburse St. Joseph for the amount. So we're doing a whole lot of check writing between the four parishes, but that seems easier than having a whole separate payroll system. And if people are working at kind of multiple locations, they got to get paid in multiple ways. So that's the first reason why there's a just cause for merging our parishes, is that we already share so much. There's already so much collaboration that's happening between our four parishes. And maybe you could even think of more reasons or more ways that we're already combined. So next week, we're going to hop into some other reasons as to why this is a just cause and the why behind merging parishes. So it's Father Sean for another episode of the Couch Chat. We'll see you next week as we keep kind of cruising through this merger meeting. So God bless, take care, and hopefully you have a blessed week.